Okay, I think this is it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the VII Community. I want to let you know that VII Community provides ongoing education and support to a network of the VII Foundation alumni, and VII Community is a program of the VII Foundation in partnership with PhotoWings. So today in this episode, we are so happy to be welcoming two recent World Press Photo winners, Ebrahim Alipoor and Tatsiana Chypsanava. Congratulations, you both. You're amazing photographers, and we're so happy to have you here today. And I'm honored to be moderating this conversation. My name is Anush Babajanyan, and I am a VII Foundation contributing photographer and also a winner of the World Press Photo in 2023. So I'm just really happy to welcome you here, and as part of the VII Network, as part of the World Press Photo Network. It's a big deal, and I'm looking forward to hearing all of your stories. So we will begin with Ebrahim's story, Ebrahim's presentation. So Ebrahim is an Iranian photographer. He's based in Kurdistan in Iran, and he's a former mentee of the VII Mentor Program. He will present his project called Bullets Have No Borders. It is about the dangerous work of border couriers, kolbars, who transport goods through journeys from Iraq and Turkey into Iranian Kurdistan. And Ebrahim, I was on the jury for Asia and Central Asia this year at the World Press Photo, and obviously I cannot tell much about the process, but your project stood out all along, and I was happy in the end to see the global jury selecting it. I think it deserved it. It's very interesting. Why don't you get started with this and tell us more about the photography and about your journey through this project?
Hello everyone. I'm really happy to be here, and thanks for VII Community. Actually, the photo story that I did actually is part of my life. It wasn't for me like a project that I want to go and take some photo and come back. It was really part of my life because I live in a city exactly on the border between Iran and Iraq. So, and when we were young, I remember, when I was child, I remember many people did this job, like because there is not a lot of job opportunity in the border. So most of the people went to Kurdistani Iraq or also Turkey and bring stuffs with the shoulder through the mountain, through the really danger and high pass road in the mountain. And I remember when we were young, we went to near the border. We didn't do this, but we went to the border, near the border, and we repacked these stuffs again as a like children to make money. Then when I grow up, I went to study, and I study architect, and then I realized it. There is a lot of people lost their life or injury in this way. Like we have mainland, we have the police border shoot the people, or some of them they died because of the avalanche or Street Valley and a lot of things. So it started with my family and relative, and then it grew up with my classmate, and then it grew up to another cities, and then the photo story like shaped as a photo story. And yeah, we can see. I think yeah, here in the photo. I don't know if you have a special questions about the photo story, but I can tell a bit more about the photos in the photo story. Here is the selection of the photo stories that I applied for WordPress photo. So I can tell a bit more about the photos. Um, here the people you can see the people went to the Iraq in the night, and so they will arrive at the early morning. So here you will see the sunrise in early morning in the rocks, and you can see one of the Kurdish people that arrived. I think it's the last one of the mountain in the way. So I was there. I went with them many times, and yeah, is the first photo that I remember. I remember that moment that this man arrived in the top of the rocks mountain, and he wanted really to touch the rocks to just like rest a bit, because it was a really steep valley and really harsh rocks. And here is the first photo that I put it in the story. And then in continue, I want to mention that I really didn't want to look at the story, not just about the peoples that carry stuff, because later I realized it affected the life of many people, not just the people who carry stuff. So I just uh, expand the photos to the life of like ordinary people, like life of the people in the cities and the villages, related to the border, and how border between two two I can say two peoples or two country, how it can affect the life of people. It was why I really think to expand it to another side of living near the border. So here you can see a village, and at the top of the mountain you can see the border post. In a sunrise. It's one of the village near the border, and you can see there is a lot of people that they are doing this. They carry stuff like um, heavy, like 50 kilograms, so it's really heavy, and they walk through the mountain between 8 to 12 hours. So it's a long journey, and with really hard situation. But yeah, they most of them they don't want to carry extra stuff, because, for example, if you carry 50 kilograms, there is not a lot of space to carry water or like food. So sometimes they eat snow when they are thirsty. So they most of them they don't carry water in the way. Uh, uh, so and then in the next photo you will see it was an avalanche near the roads that they passed, and two of the kolbars at that moment they didn't do kolbari, but avalanche was like caused the death of two kolbars, two peoples. So I was there, and we were like the first ones that we found them, but unfortunately we lost both of them. And here you can see some of them they have like a plastic, and they put some biscuits or something something that they need or maybe they need it at the night. So uh, and then when I went with the kolbars to the border, as I mentioned, I realized it that it's really wider perspective. It affected life of all of the people, like women's, like men's in the village that even they are not doing kolbari every day. So I realized it some because the Kurdish language, the people in this region they speak in Kurdish, and uh, and most of the people in near the border they cannot speak Persian, so like Farsi. So I realized it because the Kurdish language was somehow it's forbidden to learn or write in Iran. So some of the voluntary people went to the villages, remote villages, and teach the people how to read and write their mother tongue, that is Kurdish. So here you can see in one of these village near the border, one volunteer girl is teaching the people how to write their mother tongue, and most of them they do Kulbari because it's a remote village and they don't have uh, nothing opportunity to work. And yeah, you will see is I think per statics, I think more than 300 people killed or injury or die in this mountain per year. I mean, it's almost 1% per day. So you will see most of the people because they don't have a lot of like money when they get married. After it, they went to the mountain every day because they wanted to earn money more and more because they spend money for their wedding. So you can find many people that they lost their life right after their wedding. So you can see many videos in the villages, in the cities, and you can, for example, you can see the many like children that they lost their father when they were like 10 days or like 1 year. So it affected life of many people. And I really like this photo because somehow is the most personal photo in the story. You can see my mom and my brother. The last moments that my brother want to flee the country, and it was the moment that I never didn't see my mom kiss ourselves like this, and it was the moment that my mother really feels that it's the last moment. And my brother studied philosophy, but he didn't he couldn't find like jobs or opportunity to mm, so so he really preferred to go to find a better life. So it's the last moment that my brother leave the country. And yeah, I think most of you read the captions, or you will see they change the cover of the bags twice because they wanted to deliver the stuff, the goods in a good shape. So they changed it twice, and before it was they changed it because they wanted to be in same color with the nature. At the part that was snow, they used the gray cover, plastic cover, and in a nature without the snow they use it the orange plastic, but right now they just change it because they wanted to make it in a good shape to the owners. So you can see they are changing because it's a really hard situation in the way, so you can see some of the plastics are damaged in the way. And I really like the photo, this one, because I remember when it's snowy, it's somehow it's acoustic situation in the city and also in the villages. So you can hear the voices very good, especially in the mountain. So when it was snowy, first of all, I have to mention the people were really happy when it was snowy because the border patrol didn't go to the mountain when in a snowy night because it was hard and also hard to see and also hard to go. So at the night that was snowy, the people went more. And also another reason was that at the night that was snowy, you can hear the sound of the bullets so easy because it was like acoustic. And when they shoot someone or when something happened in the mountain, you will hear very well the sound, every sound in the mountain. So it was like you can hear the sound, what happened in the mountain when it's snowy. So and in the photo, you will see here is Khalid. They wanted to kill him. They shoot him to his head, but they missed it, and he lost both of his eye because the bullets goes through here to here. So, and he had two child, and you can see his daughter, and also he lost both of his eye. And here you can see in X-ray an X-ray of the one of the kolbars that they shoot him with the bullets, like war bullet, and mm, and I I realized a really special, not special, but strange thing that when they shoot someone, and if you didn't die and you went to the hospital, you have to pay the money for the bullet that they shoot you. So later I realized it that was really like unbelievable for me because they shoot you and you went to the hospital, and then if you want to they didn't arrest you, you have to pay the bullets, the price of the bullets that they shoot you. And he's in the portrait, a portrait of one of the kolbars. Some of the kolbars they cover their face because some of them they are high graduate people like PhDs or masters in the best universities in Iran. But right now, because of the situation, they don't have a job. So some of them they really, or some of them they are athletic in the sport or other things, so they don't want to recognize by other people because there is a lot of people in this way. So they cover their face to don't be recognized by other people. And I have to mention I follow these people separately in some like smaller photo stories about their life. And you can see they some of them they do copying because they believe the new blood will give them new power, more power to carry more stuff. So I think it's mostly as mentally like believe that the new blood will give them more power, but most of them they do. Um, mm, so you can see. Uh, you can see many people they do this. And you can see here, you can see a group of the people. Usually they walk in. Usually they walk in group because first of all, this stuff doesn't belong to the kulbers. It's belong to the owners. So, for example, one owner had a lot of TV or refrigerator or cigarette or other things. So they walk and they went in a group because most of the time they want to carry about each other, and also this, for example, these goods belong to one owner. It's why you cannot see a lot of alone people in the mountain. You can find, but it's not a lot. And he's Ahmed. Ahmed lost his way in the mountain in a snowy night, and he was in the mountain for 2 days, 2 nights, and he lost all of his finger later because of frostbitten, and he didn't have money to go to the hospital. So he lost unfortunately all of his finger. Yeah, it's the mountain in the border, and you can see it's an avalanche happened in the mountain, and in winter. And usually in winter, people do it more because it's more safe. As I mentioned, the police border don't go to the mountain when it's hard to go. And here is you can see dollar that all of the life of people right now in Iran is connected to the dollar, the currency, and the negotiation between Iran and US and the sanctions. So everything depends on what happened between Iran and US. And you can see even in the villages, in the remote villages, people are really care and they are aware about the negotiation between the governments and also what happened about the currency. And sometimes when the negotiation goes well or goes bad, like in one night you will lose your money, like 25% of your money, because the currency go down. And um, I really was surprised. I was in a remote village and I saw a man with dollar in his phone and he just checked all the time. They checked till 12, I think 1 p.m. Every day, and because the currency in 1 p.m. They will realize it in 1 p.m. what happened to the currency these days. So and here it was really, I really tried to explain so fast about the selection of the photos that I have it right now. It's 20 of the 20 selection of the 30 images that I sent it to WordPress. So here is 20 images, and 21 I think, yeah, is the last one in this photo story. I didn't put 9 photos, but you can see in the WordPress photo website. And here is the last one, the one of the, his name was Rahman, and he is praying one day after he came back from the mountain, and you can see the mountain in the border exactly in front of him. And yeah, uh, he was really. I tried to to talk a bit fast and also say as much as possible in my speaks. So, if you have any questions or if I miss something, please let me know.
Thank you, Ebrahim. Thank you for. Yeah, Fiona. Yeah, thank you so much. This is amazing. The one thing is seeing the images and reading the captions, and but another thing is learning them from you and about them from you. And also, I had no idea that it connects so closely to your life. Thank you for telling us about all of these stories. So, a question from Lauren Grabel. Sorry, I've missed this info, but 2 questions. Who is shooting and why? And what are the goods they're transporting? So, could you tell us about that?
Yeah. I mean, because somehow crossing the border and bring stuff inside to Iran is illegal. They call it illegal. So the Iranian police border shoot the people because they call it this work illegal. And they bring everything like refrigerator, everything that they need in the house, like refrigerator, TVs. In one of the photos that I didn't put here, you will see the TVs that they bring it in the shop, in the luxury shop. And they bring cigarette, tobacco, clothes, refrigerator, and sometimes alcohol that is forbidden completely in Iran. So they bring everything that they needed. And also in some of the brand, because of the sanction, is forbidden to have branch in Iran. So they bring some like some brand stuff. Like for example, they bring iPhones, the LGs, Sony, because we don't have a like a branch, formal branch in Iran, and it's why the people want it in Iran. So they bring it, this stuff to Iran.
Great, thank you. And
But,
I was also curious. I really love the aesthetic of this project, and at the same time, I wonder. So, why? What made you decide to photograph it in black and white? I think most of your photography is in black and white, and so is that why you just went with your with the aesthetic that you're used to, you're comfortable with, or did you feel that this project specifically was sort of asking for it? What was it for you?
actually, I'm shooting in color when in with my camera, but in most of the time, I can see what will happen in black and white in my mind. I mean, I know completely what will happen later in black and white. It's because many years I did this, but it's not the reasons that I did in black and white. Actually, the most of the stories that I'm working on it is about the regions that I live. It's about the people in the borders, about the Kurdish people, also Iranian people, and unfortunately, most of the stories are somehow as a sad story, and and they are not really beautiful stories. It's why, for example, at the first photo, at the first photo, you will see a man with a really in a color. It's really beautiful landscape with a green lands, and mountains, and all beautiful sunrise. And in color, it's really beautiful. But I really didn't want to people to see the color and beauty of the photo, because at that moment I really I really I really didn't focus on the beauty of the photo. I really focused at the moment that this man touched the rock exactly on the top of the mountain, and in his head, he's I think he's thinking about the tomorrow he will come again, and this day because once I hear to when I wanted to shoot one of the kolbars, he told me we survived this day again, and I remember this sentence all the time, that they survived this day. So it was why the photo, this story was really black and white for me, because the soul of the photo was really important. I really didn't want to people to focus on the color and the beauty of the photo. It's a really deep story. It's affected in almost all of the people near the borders, and it's a long border with a lot of people. So it was why I used the black and white in this photo story.
Wow, that was one of the best explanations I've ever heard for, for a choice to do a story in monochromatic aesthetic. Wonderful,
Thank you.
wonderful. Okay, so one more question from Jeff Walker. So you start with an idea and end up with a story that unfolds that doesn't look like the original idea. The story grows off itself. Do you know what Jeff means?
Um, Not exactly, but I think
Well, so he means that maybe you didn't imagine the story from the very beginning, but sort of and built it as you were working through it. Was that what happened for you?
actually it's a long story and long-term story, and at the beginning, actually, I wasn't a photographer. I have to mention that um, I live I grow up and I born and I grew up in a village near the border, and then I went to the city exactly near the border. So we didn't have a lot of access to the like education and other things as all of the people that live in this region. So at the first, yeah, I my father had a camera and I started to take photo, but I didn't really realize it at the first that I'm a photographer or what is the photo story. And then later, but I knew is that I have to do it, and I did photography for many years. And later I realized is that many story happen in this region, and they are a untold story. Like no one didn't, because there wasn't like a professional photographer in the region to tell this story. So I goes through my archive again, that what I missed and what did I like shoot in these years, and which kind of photos I have in my archive. So, and then I realized it, okay, I did a lot of story, and I have a lot of story to tell. And then I started to make a photo story and complete these photo stories. So it happened like this. Also for my other project, I think we don't have time, but we can like go through so fast. We will see. It happened like I did for many years, and then when I connected with a like wider community, like with Canon, with Seven, and later, and I realized it. Okay, well, I have some photo story. I have to complete it. I have to took some other new shots for my stories, and then okay, the photo stories um, happen. Yeah, at the first it
Nice.
wasn't. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a really long-term project then. Yeah.
Yeah.
From your childhood. Okay, and here's one last question that we can take. We have time for this one. How many times from Madabendu Hensh? How many times you had to travel with carriers? The trek seems pretty difficult. How did you carry your equipment?
Okay. Actually, I went with them like many times. I don't know how many times because, as I mentioned, it's part of my life. And but uh, I want to tell you a story. Once I went with them, and it was really harsh situation. It was snow, and it was really we have a valley that they call it this valley that many people just go down, uh, fall down from the rocks and this valley. And it was really hard for me to go, and in my mind was really like this. What what are you doing here? In my mind. And really, believe me, I realized it once that I saw a man. I have the photos. He was, I think, 65 or 66 years old. He carried 50 kilograms of stuff, and he was with a smile to me when he wants to go and I want to go down. He want to go up, and I realized it. Okay, I have a camera with 1 kilogram or 2 kilograms, or just like all of my equipment was like 2 3 kilograms. So what I what there was no excuse for me. And later, in all of my travel with kolbars, never I didn't say in my mind that it's a hard situation, because I saw the people carry stuff like 50 kilogram or even more for like between 8 to 12 hours, and they didn't complain, and they do it every day. So I say there is nothing like 5 kilogram equipment or I don't know how many kilogram was, but there was no excuse for me. So I went, and never I didn't complain about my equipment and the situation. Never.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ebrahim. Thank you for your explanation. Okay, I think we should move forward. And yeah, if any other questions come up, y'all can leave them here and maybe we will have time at the end of the presentations. Okay, but thank you so much, Ebrahim. We're going to now move on and listen to Tatsiana Chypsanava. And Tatsiana is a New Zealand-based photographer. She is going to talk with us about her project called Te Urewera, the living ancestor of Tūhoe people. And so this project documents Indigenous communities defending their sovereignty and the stewardship of their homeland in the face of right-wing government reforms. Okay, Tatiana, this is a very different project from Ebrahim's. It's colorful. It's just rich with everyday life, and it talks to us not only about the struggle and the fight, and the defending of sovereignty, but also about the everyday life of these people, and that's equally as important. So tell us a little bit about your journey through this project. I'm very curious, and I think we all are.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity, VII Foundation. Thanks, Anush, for introduction. And hi, Ebrahim. It was really nice to see you again. We just saw each other a couple of weeks ago. And like your project was one of my favorites as well. And I'm really humbled to be with you in the same room, presenting my work. Really grateful for the opportunity. So my name is Tatsiana. I'm based in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I live on top of the South Island in Nelson. And my project is based around Te Urewera rainforest. It's in the middle of the North Island. Te Urewera is largest rainforest in North Island and the former national park. And I probably could start to share my presentation so I could, because I probably have quite a few slides to go through in half an hour. So what I did, I had edited some images from my project that you can find online on the WordPress photo website. And I added some extra images, about 50-50 of others. So if you've seen my work, you will be able to see some other images and see the edit. So the images here are organized in a chronological order, whether on a WordPress photo they edited nicely, and they edited for the purpose. So here you see Tūhoe people welcoming government official ministers and opposition parties to the land in Taniata at the entrance to the rainforest. That's the day where the government officially apologized for the generations of injustice, killing of Tūhoe people, scorching land policies, and land confiscations. And there was a day when the Tūhoe people got back to Urewera rainforest, a former national park, which was granted first in the world status of the living person, which I think it was a groundbreaking law, and Te Urewera was the first in the world to be granted such a status. So next slide, you see Tamaiti is Tūhoe artist and a prominent activist. He been fighting for Indigenous rights for 50 years with other Indigenous people from other tribes. And in 2007, he was one of the people arrested in the 300-strong police raid on the village. And here he been accused of running terror camps in Te Urewera. Of course, there was no terror camps, but he spent at least over the year in the prison and for some other charges. Police found some hunting gun in his home in the bush, and here he leading his people, young people, confronted the officials who entering the land. He is very active now. As you know, New Zealand is going to some turbulent times with some legislation and reforms which aiming to reverse some of the progressive laws around Indigenous people. So I think that was very timely photo for me to have in this edit, and it resonates with situation now in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So, but I started my project earlier, before that, same year, but there was Easter of 2014 when my friend family which based in Ruatoki at the eastern entrance to Te Urewera, got raided by mistake by the police in the middle of the night. The police followed the wrong car from the city to this village, raided them at 2 a.m. On a gunpoint, and left, sent wrong car, wrong house. And when I seen the news, like a few days later, I got invited to come and photograph the family in Ratoki. I have been to Ratoki previously, but this was the beginning of this particular this story. This is Rangikapua. He is a fungi child of the Tsepa family. He's grandchild, but he was raised as a son. So this family raised 27 children this way. So they keep a connection to both their parents, biological and adoptive. So this way, traditions being passed on from grandparents to a child, and a child also have biological connection to their parents. And that's Rangikapua. John Tepa is the patriarch of the family. In 1960, government has encouraged Maori people move from rural areas to the city. There was a big exodus from rural areas to urban, and as many, he spent two decades living in the city. His farm was abandoned. There was nothing growing, but he came back, brought his wife, 5 biological children, adopted 20 more, raised on the farm of other relatives and not. And here he's picking the traditional Tūhoe Maori food. It's fern fronds called and around 2016, I have been contacted by Maori academic to go back and interview people who were affected by the police raids in the last decade, because you can imagine this happened quite a few families. The police target 7 times more Maori people than European. So Maori people are 7 times more experienced police violence than other demographic. So here, we follow the family. We follow family daily life, because at the time the images were circulated in New Zealand, and was a lot more about the raids, the photographs of police in balaclava arresting people. So, and there was almost none of the daily lives, and that's how we connected both. So I've been documenting the family as well as taking street scene. This is one of the friends of the family, but she was also mistreated during the 2007 police raid, and she was part of this project in 2016 about people who were mistreated by the government. She and her children were locked in a garage for 9 hours with no food, access to no water, no food, no bathroom, while her husband was interrogated in the city, taken there for no apparent reason. So he was freed, but she spent 9 hours locked up with no apology to her after that. And here is matriarch of the Tepa family, Carol. She is holding her youngest grandchild, and next to her is her fungi son, Vanya, who also her grandchild. So she has been raising children until recently, when I think last one reached 18 and moved out, but she still have some kids living with her, adult kids. That's grandchildren, and at the Tepa homestead, they are they all involved at school at the Kapahaka. It's in other aspects of the Maori arts. They perform, they go to competitions, and here they watch the older cousin who lives in this homestead, but who was performing at the competition at the time on Maori TV. So I follow the children because at the time, I have become a solo parent as well, and I've been staying with them, with the family, for 2-3 weeks at a time, and my daughter has been invited to come, and she was coming with me from the age 9 or 10 for a few years. She spent few school holidays with me. So sometimes she's in the pictures, but she's totally been adopted into the whanau. She's part of the fungi group of children. She does everything together with kids. So they play together, they eat together. And here they looking at the newborn piglets. The family raised pigs, and everyone around them, neighbors, contribute the food, and they barter, share meat within the valley. And there's another example how kids eat together, so everybody gets their portion. And here is the photo taken in the homestead. The homestead built over 100 years ago, and you can see the ancestors of the Ruiha. She's 12. She lives in the city. She comes to visit her grandparents once a year. She tries, and that's her genealogy from her ancestors to her aunts, cousins, her mom. So for Maori, this is connection to not only to the ancestors but to the land itself, because in Tūhoe origin story, they come from the Te Urewera itself, and that's also unique characteristic for them. I think no one else in New Zealand has that origin story. This is the family when they moved back probably 30 years ago. And that's family, and that's kids eating together. So there's photos of everybody sharing meal at the same time together. That's kind of one of the rules. So, and here is Tapu Tepa. He's 10. He just caught possum in the forest, rainforest, just next to the farm. This introduced species. They are really killing, native birds. They're killing everything in New Zealand forests and nature. So they are being hunted or trapped really intensely now. And the fur can be sold as well, so they can make some money. And this has been actually quite a serious vocation in the valley, where a lot of them, make money, specifically children. They can make some pocket money by doing that. That show the younger sister is being looked after by the older sister. And there's the same situation. They look after each other, drive each other home. It's just like 5-meter dirt road to the house from the river. And the majority of Tūhoe live outside of the traditional land territory. They live in the city, they work, because you can imagine there's not much employment in the area. So it's about 7,000 people from 40,000 live on the land. And this is the moment. This is one special image where local farmers, they train the young generation, young school students, farming skills, because these skills are always in demand. And the farming, there's always demand for the good farmers. So one of the girls, she's now employed in the farm. And that's them as well, around the same time. this organic dairy farm. I documented transition from dairy to fully, to normal dairy to fully organic over the years. And that's the end of the road. So, and that's where the Te Urewera starts, the Ruatoki Valley Road. Haka, again, very important in sports. Any New Zealand team perform haka on international stage, and so the Tūhoe people, they have their own chants that each tribe, they have their own traditions, and the girls preparing for the national rugby competition. And this, again, the patriarch of the family, John Regekapo, he didn't like his portraits taken, but he allows me to photograph him later on. He's playing ukulele that his wife brought him. Horses, they are wild and free, they roam everywhere, and if Tūhoe person wants a horse, he gets a rope and catch it. Ride it with no saddle. So last year I got a grant to expand my project and visit other communities, not just Ruatoki, in the heart of Te Urewera. This is Ruatahuna, right in the middle, and there is no road between one settlement to one part of the Te Urewera to eastern, for example, entrance. You have to go around on a car, about 5 hours drive, or you get a horse, you go through the mud road and river, and it takes a few days to get from one settlement on a horse. Government never built decent roads through Te Urewera. Here she's a caretaker of the marae. It's traditional Maori place where there's a meeting house at the back, Wharenui. There's a kitchen. That's where they do the ceremonies. The funerals happen there, and other celebrations like Matariki, Maori New Year. So everything happens on marae. People run workshops. So this is the heart of the community. And here we see a custom of a traditional food making in an earth oven. It's called hangi, and that's where young people also they learn of the tradition of the food making. They all come from somewhere, like Auckland, or some came from Australia to celebrate 21st birthday in Maungapohotu, a sacred place, sacred mountain, and sacred place for Tūhoe people. And here we see the new built eco visitor center in Waikaremoana. It's a lake, and also Tūhoe people taking care of the tourist track. The former national park had a great walk for tourists, so everyone can come and visit and experience some cultural experience what it's like for Tūhoe to live on the land. They can talk to Tūhoe at the center and organize the trips. But also the house, this building also serves as a community space for Tūhoe people living in the area. And that's an element of the Wharenui you've seen previously in Ruatahuna, depicting the old custom of the bird harvesting from the trees. Now the birds in really low numbers. This is not happening, but this is still an aspiration for the tribe. It's their pride and identity to be able to restore the bird numbers in the forest, as well as the trees that produce the fruits for the birds. Here we see the former government official who is portrayed with a rata tree. Rata tree is a very unique tree in New Zealand that starts to live on a host. It's kind of and then it takes over the host tree and the tree falls and the rata grows into the matcha tree. And he explained to me how, he was telling me about intelligence of the nature, how nature finds a way to strive. And that's one of the part of the tourist track. You can see the orange sign or orange triangle. You see it everywhere in New Zealand. If you see it, it's meaning you are on a track in New Zealand. You're not lost. So you just follow that to get to one place to another in the bush or wilderness. Medical plant collected by the one of the tourist guides who runs the tourist activities for some people who want to experience the cultural, side, cultural connection. We see the marae again in Ruatahana, one of them, and this lady I met here in one of the workshops and ceremonies. She goes back to connect with her family, her land, but she doesn't live in the area. She's coach for women who been affected by the colonization, and so she is empowering Indigenous women in the area. And this is Sacred Mountain, Mangapohotu. You can see some houses, but at the time there's one person or zero lives in the settlement. It's been also raided by the government 100 years ago, so people left, but now they're coming back slowly, putting their holiday homes there and trying to go back and reconnect to the roots. And this scene on Marae, when family members come from all over the world and they reconnect and share stories of kinship and genealogy and how they connect to each other and to the land. This tourists watch sunset from one of the huts serviced by Tūhoe people. So, something that was government doing. And here I was staying deep into Te Urewera forest with no power or electricity, and that's how they cook their breakfast in the morning with gas. And there's generator, but pretty much that's how it's done. And the last image, that's a revival of the practices. This here, Ruatahana community welcoming Maori New Year, Matariki, the star that only shows once in a year around a certain point on the sky, and it's been popularized and made into the national holiday in New Zealand, first Indigenous holiday, which is about to start now. We are in the month of Matariki, where the whole country celebrates a New Year, the Aotearoa Maori Tūhoe New Year. That's pretty much my presentation. I can stop sharing, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tatsiana. Wow, this is a really expansive project. How long did it take you to work on this? How many years have you been working in these territories?
Well, I've been around since 2010, but I was photographing with my film cameras, and this particular project I started in 2014, and I photographed it through last year. So it's just 10 years, yeah.
Wonderful, amazing. And I wanted to ask you while I was looking through the pictures, what are the actual challenges that the people are struggling against? What is happening that's making them defend their sovereignty? Is it just a few various laws that the right-wing government is trying to impose? Is it like on the kind of scale that is not so visible every day, but like takes time, or is it something that is right in people's front yards, right in front of their faces? What is the situation in that sense?
Well, for Tūhoe, they have been given the land back, so they are now, of course, a majority of them live outside and they're affected by the current situation. Reduction of the health services, reduction of the funding for the language, the Maori, and all of that. But within Tūhoe who live on the land, which was a project based around, it's actually to find their livelihoods, how to live on the land and strive on the land successfully, being able to make a living, and also to look after the land according to their values, which sometimes quite often clashes with their modern, conservationist agenda, where when conservationists see the place as, non-human ecosystem, where the for Tūhoe, they are part of the, ecosystem. They don't exclude themselves. So they say when land is in a good health, so are the people. And they say it many times in different, forms. So it's a holistic approach to land and to people. They're looking for ways. They're looking for ways to meet other indigenous people and see what other people doing, especially the ones who live in the mountains and the forested mountains, like they are. Trying to find a way to survive. There are businesses. There are successful world award-winning honey in every village. They try to do some honey harvesting because, of course, the forest is there. But also looking for other ways to make livelihood for people, so people can come back. People just started to go back, even 10 years on. People going back to search for the roots. Not all of them know where they come from, but they have a vague idea. They go back. They meet people. They bring new ideas. It's still a healing process, pretty early into the process of decolonization and healing of the generations of injustice.
I was just reading today in the news that the lawmakers who protested the new reforms, they were suspended. So it's but it's good to see that this news is really coming out, and it's not just local, but people are following it, and newsrooms are following it too. So I think that can make a bit of a difference too. And I wanted to ask you, what is your plan for this project for the future? How do you see it? Do you see it as an exhibition or as maybe a book? You have so much work over the 10 years. Have you thought about putting together a book about this story?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm thinking about a book because of so much work material already exists. But I also know that I probably have about 70% of images and material. So I will I'll be going back soon, and first to bring to visit people since the award as well, the family, and to collect some archival material as well, to work in collaboration with Whanau family members to create something that would be of value to them, because of support I received over the years with me, being welcomed, and it was more a personal project than photojournalism work for me. So
great, and that's a really honest and genuine approach, because the idea of bringing something back to the people is sometimes we don't do it a lot of times, and it's so important to come back to the people, bring back the stories, bring back the photography, to keep collaborating with them, even, and just being together in this process of creating the story, and not just taking photos, showing them somewhere very different, and just that's about it. But actually collaborating with the people, that's something that doesn't always happen, because we're also just journalists, and clearer and purer sense of it, that's also true. But a lot of times in cases of such personal projects as yours is and Ebrahim's, I think it's a great I think it's very logical to come back and be with the people and bring back the work. And we have two more questions, and I think we do have the time for these. So Fiona is asking, Tatsiana, can you tell us about your experience of being part of World Press Photo? How did that go? That was pretty recent.
Yeah, we have met in Amsterdam a couple of weeks ago. All of us, most of the winners, a few of them were missing, but it was incredible. A few days together, get to know each other, and the foundation. Yeah, it's pretty. I'm still processing it. It's pretty surreal. Connecting to amazing photographers like Ebrahim. Yeah, making new friends, connections, and yeah, and trying to do my best to represent the people not to represent, but tell the story in the way that brings dignity into the people I photograph. That's what's been happening since the winning.
Nice. And I'm sure you've done it well, and it's really amazing, because there aren't a lot of stories winning the World Press Photo out of New Zealand, so that's really great. Okay, so Jeff Walker has a question. This is a story representative of Maori situation, yet also representative of Indigenous peoples around the world. How is it being received globally by not only the West, but by other Indigenous peoples maybe as well?
Well, it's been. Well, I'm from Belarus. I can tell you that originally, so I spent about 18 years now living in New Zealand, 17. I have not been mentioned in my country media because of the political situation right now. Yeah, I would like to see the story connect people, connects cultures through, and bring some collaborations, opportunity, connections to the people I photograph. But probably it's very early stage yet to say how. But yeah, I does it answer the question? Hopefully, there's something good will come out of it in a long run. But the exhibition is going to be in New Zealand in July and September, and that's where I'm planning to celebrate it with families and people I photograph. That will be awesome. So
nice. Is that the World Press Photo exhibition?
World Press Photo, yeah, going to be in Wellington in September, and in Auckland in July. Yeah.
Amazing. We should talk of this, Tatsiana. Jeff Walker says he should. You both should talk of this. So, yeah, that's something.
Well,
and
you
I
might
ask,
one question.
I wanted to ask Ebrahim, do you think there will be a World Press Photo exhibition in Iran? Tehran, maybe?
Actually, no. I think we just have 1 year the WordPress photo exhibition in Iran. But right now, I ask also this question to the WordPress office and colleagues, and they told me right now it's not possible. Actually, they don't have a place or gallery to cooperate with the WordPress photo. So I think right now we don't have this year. Actually, we don't have the WordPress exhibition in Iran, but I hope soon we have it. I hope so.
Yeah, I really hope so too. And what about your plans, Ebrahim? What about your ideas for this project, the book, or some sort of local exhibition? Or
Actually, the situation is really complicated right now because of the many things that maybe I cannot show some of the photo in the exhibition, so I prefer to show completely the whole story and not to censorship myself or also my project. So I prefer to don't have the exhibition right now, but as soon as possible that I can find a place in Iran or in Kurdistan to show the whole story, I will be happy to show it. But for the book, I think I'm not ready. The project is not ready actually for the book. I think I realize it that because it's really like somehow it's personal project. I really need to, especially after the WordPress, I really need to focus again on the project and also on the some things that happen around me with a new vision. And then later I will decide that it's prepared. Yeah, I mean it's ready for the book or not. But right now, actually, I'm working on a multimedia because I have some interview with the peoples, with the kolbars, and also the sound of the bullets and everything in the mountains. And right now I'm working on a multimedia with the photos and also sounds and videos. And later for the book, I hope soon I can publish the book about the kolbars.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I wish both of you, Tatsiana and Ebrahim, so much luck with continuing this project, sharing it with people, and I think you're doing just an amazing and important job. These long-term projects, which are mostly personal, they have a special place in photojournalism. They are, so authentic, they're genuine, they're honest, they're just like photojournalists real work, and so I'm thankful that you worked on it, thankful that you spoke with us about these stories today. Thank you so much. And I think this is it. I think our morning, afternoon, evening, anywhere around the world is coming to its end. So thanks so much. I wish everyone a wonderful continuation of your time of the day. And I really hope to see you all during our next episodes of the VII Community. Please follow our website for updates and our next events. And we're always happy to see everyone. So thank you. Thank you so much, Tatsiana and Ebrahim.
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for turning up.
Thanks everyone. Yeah.
Thank
Have
you.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.